Einen wunderschönen guten Abend euch allen zusammen. Da bin ich wieder. Und heute schauen wir uns mal das Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe an. Habe ich mir jetzt für gerade mal so rausgesucht. Dachte ich mir, kann man ja mal machen. Wurde mir ja auch von der Zeit mal geschenkt. Muss jetzt auch mal gespielt werden, ne? Erstmal noch Hi Alex, hallo anderen Lurker, die auch schon da sind. Dachte ich mir, ich gehe auch erst gar nicht bis zum Titelbildschirm. Wir gehen einfach nochmal hier durch, auch wenn nicht so viel kommt. Bevor wir den Titelbildschirm sehen. Eigentlich nur 2 Sachen. Aber ich dachte, wir fangen trotzdem hier an, um einfach alles zu haben, ne? Ja, natürlich freust du dich. Du warst ja auch die Pappnase, die mir das schon wieder geschenkt hat, ne? Wäre doof, wenn du dich nicht darüber freust. So, habe ich alles, was ich brauche? Ich glaube schon. Dann fangen wir doch mal an. Ich würde sagen, Untertitel und so, das geht schon auf Deutsch, ne? Habe ich das Stanley Parable schon mal gespielt? On-Stream nicht? Und dass ich das letzte Mal gespielt habe, ist auch schon ewig her, also sagen wir einfach mal nein. Ach ja, Brightness-Kram lassen wir einfach so. Passt schon. Die aktuelle Uhrzeit. Sollen wir mal die richtige einstellen, ha? 8:02 Uhr. Jo. Einstellungen zur Barrierefreiheit können über das Hauptmenü vorgenommen werden. Sehr gut. Und da sind wir auch hier. Jetzt mal gucken, ob Lautstärke so passt, ne? Weil hier auch erstmal nur Gelaber ist. Hallo Becky, auch dir einen wunderschönen guten Abend. Dann fangen wir doch an.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Yay.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Da muss ich erstmal auf Sensitive. Das ist besser. Der Stuhl in der Cutscene stand voll in dem Kabel drin, ne? Das ist immer noch ein bisschen schnell. Oh, der Mauscursor so ist aber sehr langsam. Oh. Empfindlichkeit der Kamera 1. Das ist besser. Oder darf ich sogar 0? Das ist noch besser. Nee, ich bleibe in meinem Büro. Und ich hasse Montage, so wie es aussieht. Ja, das ist schon... Nice.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Alle nicht da, alle zu Hause. Ich kann das nicht lesen, was da auf dem Bildschirm steht. Naja, das originale Stanley Parable habe ich ja schon mal gespielt. Er ist schon ewig her, da habe ich ja noch nicht mal gestreamt. So lange ist das her. Das war schon ganz nice. Da ist ein schönes Bild. Eine Pflanze.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wir machen erstmal das, was er so sagt.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Da steht Kram. By quarterly post review. We need... Was auch immer da steht. More... less reviews. 402 plus 405 wants to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review schedule. But I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers. More water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appear to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big Net? Some sort of child rap? Oh Gott, nee. Trash Talk, weiß ich nicht. Dann kommen nachher noch andere Leute an, die dann nur sagen, dass sie Sachen sagen dürfen. Und dann ist das auch alles doof. Und dann sagen sie nur Sachen, die wichtig sind. Space between the teenagers. A lot of percent. Size of demographic, teenagers. Throw something in the ideas bin. No more bins, trash cans. Renaming of the ideas bin. Firing of me. Oh nein. Ja. Oh. Da steht jetzt anderer Kram. What are your dreams for the future? Nature, success, talk radio, mitosis, charts, about, plan life, transcend, lunch, football, travel, metamorphosis, noch mehr andere. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day with no expectation of promotion or recognition. Don't get fired. Wow. How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you, take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers, resent coworkers for not supporting you more und dann immer im Kreis. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text. This will ensure irgendwas. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Ich kann das gar nicht so schnell vorlesen, Mann. Number of slides on the slide. Slides, charts, charts and slides. Ja, voll gut. Genau, erstmal schön Notizen machen, ne? Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Haben wir noch ganz... Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Einfach noch mehr. Please no more charts. Please, I'm begging. Stop. The Boss Appreciation Minute. On your Boss Appreciation Minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out in triplicate and return to your boss application something. Ah. So viel Kram. Ich lese mir lieber Flipcharts durch, die bewegen sich nicht. To do. Synergize Core Value Expenditures. Shift Global Market Paradigm. Wahrscheinlich. Monetize Free to Play. Nee, machen wir nicht. Also ist ja eh schon zu spät. Targets. Push for funding for R&D of new coffee machine. No cost efficient. Was ist no cost efficient? Stand. Irgendwas. Graphs 40 times wide. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Synergize papers. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic off. The future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda, reflect. Noch ein paar Employee Numbers. Meeting Room. Schedule irgendwas, ne? Haben wir da Weekly Targets. Admin, IT Department, Weekly Review. Also wer dann einfach nur hier ist, war. Do not alter without consulting Whiteboard Manager. Mache ich schon nicht, keine Sorge. Mehr Charts! Ich kann nur nicht springen, dann kann ich die nicht vernünftig lesen. Oh, ich kann mit der rechten Maustaste laufen. Room Closet. Lass mich da rein. Ja, nice.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Machen wir. Wie gesagt, hören wir erstmal auf die Stimme. Executive Bathroom. Oh. Erstmal voll Tür ins Gesicht, oder? Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Nee, money crisp. Extreme Bathrooms und Time. Sehr gut. Und ein sehr dreckiger Spiegel. Und das sieht auch nicht sehr sauber aus. Und das hat einfach ein Muster, wie die Wand. Das Handtuch. Ist das unser Bürogebäude? Muss ich auf dem Klo eigentlich dann auch nicht sehen, wa? Sehr gut. Hier ist auch niemand. Sogar der PC ist aus. The Beige Papers. Pages. Business Time. 2 Telefone. Mehr Text, den ich nicht vernünftig lesen kann. Irgendwas. Recommendations from the Oversight Committee. Das andere. General Questions about irgendwas Filings oder so. Oh, ich häng fest. Ich darf auf der... Dafür bin ich zu eng für den Weg. Hallo.
Into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Ja, wenn wir jetzt mal die Zahl wüssten, ne? Das wäre ja schon... Das wäre schon nice. Das ist ein sehr komisch klingendes Klavier.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs, trying to input anything.
Oh, man sieht mein Steam-Overlay nicht. Warte, ich habe gerade 2 Erfolge bekommen. Einmal dafür, dass ich meinen ersten Erfolg bekommen habe und einmal, dass ich nicht springen kann, weil ich die ganze Zeit gespammt habe. Lass mich mal eben meinen Overlay mit capturen. Das wäre ja, glaube ich, schon ganz nett.
Possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Ja, woher soll ich nur wissen, dass die Kombination 2845 ist, ne? Also, sitzen wir jetzt hier wohl fest?
2845.
Ich habe irgendwie das Gefühl, der Code fängt mit einer 2 an. Ich weiß aber auch nicht, wieso. Oh. Ach, der Cursor war nur hier wegen schon, daher.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Tada! Hab's doch eingegeben, so. Erzähler ist zu ungeduldig. Wie gesagt, hatte ich im Gefühl, dass der Code mit einer 2 anfängt. Und jetzt habe ich sogar den richtigen erraten. So. Ich bin jetzt die Treppe hochgegangen, nur um runterzufahren. Sehr gut.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Aber sagen, C4, 10% Chancen getroffen, ja. Voll gut. Escape. Aber wohin sollte ich denn escapen wollen? Da ist eine Mind Control Facility, da müssen wir doch hin. Hat mir die Stimme in meinem Kopf gesagt. Die Stimme, die hier redet, natürlich. Ein Lichtschalter. Was ist das? Ganz viele Zahlen.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Kannst du alle Fernsehsender auf einmal schauen? Ja, nice.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Das sind so ein paar. Ich habe meine Zahl vergessen. Irgendwas mit einer 4. Wo ist mein Büro? Da ist es. Ich habe es gefunden. Das war doch meins, ne? 423? Sieht aber auch sehr ähnlich aus, ne? Wobei, ich hatte nur ein Bildschirm. Aber wer hat ja mein Licht ausgemacht? Da war eben noch heller drin.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Ach was.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Wenn das Geld stimmt, ne?
The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Werde ich das? Werden wir anscheinend, sagt die Stimme mir. Kann ja kein Mind Control sein. Steht überall, dass das offline ist, ne? Also. 5. Piep, bup, bup. Haben wir hier noch? Oh ja, da ist noch mindestens eine andere Zahl. Das ist eine 3. Da war irgendwas in meinem Gesicht. 1, 2, 3. Wer hat die 4 versteckt? Ich kann doch jetzt nicht einfach die 5 drücken, nachdem ich 1, 2 und 3 gedrückt habe. Da oben ist ein Knopf. Ist nur so dunkel, ich sehe das fast gar nicht. Ach, da ist auch eine Tür. Das ist ja doof. Ich sehe nicht, ob da 4 steht, aber wahrscheinlich, ne? Das ist ja doof. Drücke ich jetzt doch die 5. Und dann gehe ich da in den Powerraum. Mein Controls idle. Waiting Input. Das ist doch mal ein großer Screen.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Ja, machen wir doch mal aus. Das war lauter.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Was?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Woo.
Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Ist auch mal eine riesige Tür, ne?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yay. Sehr schön. Schlage das Spiel. Errungenschaft freigeschaltet. Ja, GG, sind wir fertig. Oh. Oh nein, wir sind zurück. Wir sind doch gerade entkommen. Ah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Dann gehen wir doch jetzt mal durch und machen die Mind-Control-Maschine wieder an, ne?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he
Jetzt
entered the
Speedrun.
door on his left.
Gehen wir rückwärts die ganzen Optionen durch,
Yet
wa?
there was not a single person here either.
Immer noch niemand hier.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Oh no,
Oh.
no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Das ist jetzt meine Besenkammer, so. Lassen wir uns doch von Kram ablenken. Ich sag dir nicht, was ich hier drin mache. Ich mach die Tür auf und zu. Nee, lassen wir weitergehen. Da kommen wir ja noch ein paar Mal dran vorbei,
Coming to the
ne?
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Diesmal weiß ich den Code sogar schon.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human
Ich hab mich
life.
vertippt.
What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That
Sorry.
kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Es tut mir leid, ich war zu schnell.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Sehr gut. Und nach unten. Sehr schön. Mag der Erzähler nicht, wenn ich ihn nicht ausreden
Stanley
lasse.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ja, gehen wir erst. Wir wollten ja jetzt erst die Anlage anmachen, ne? Gucken, was dann passiert.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ah, wir wissen doch schon, was hier los ist. Haben wir doch schon rausgefunden.
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true nature revealed.
Der da oben ist kaputt.
Each bore the number of an employee in
Zumindest
the
die
building.
Zahl.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Krieg einfach mal ganz viel rum.
Facility. It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Das werden wir ja sehen.
Would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Ups, da bin ich ausgerutscht.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Das ist ja doof.
This machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Oh.
How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means, I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock.
Das ist aber nett.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment.
Ist das nicht die Farbe?
But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
No.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's
Ich
all
drück
the
mehr
same to
Knöpfe.
me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
Bin ich wohl tot? Das ist ja doof gelaufen. Also entweder trollt er mich mit den Knöpfen oder ich war noch zu doof dafür.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Da spielt jemand Solitär, ich sehe das doch. Oder hat gespielt.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ich kann nicht mehr in die Besenkammer. Die ist zugenagelt. Das ist aber gemein. Lass mich da rein! Hilfe! Lass mich rein! Nein, eben nicht.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Lassen wir ihn diesmal einmal ausreden, ne? Hier habe ich noch nicht reingeguckt. Das ist auch mal ein Bild, ne? Business Strategy, oh Gott. Nee, mach mal nicht. Oh. Oh. Hab noch mehr zu tun gefunden. Aber erstmal, wie gesagt, will ich Kram rückwärts abgehen. Ne? Oh. Oh.
Hey, look, it's a new passageway. Surprise.
Dann machen wir halt noch schneller als eben. Sehr gut. Zähler hat auch keinen Bock mehr, dass ich hier lang gehe, habe ich das Gefühl. Aber da gibt's noch genug zu tun, ne?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nö. Oder war da gerade noch was? Vor dem... Nee, da war dann nur das mit den Knöpfen, ne? Gehen wir hier lang.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Ist auch eine Art davon, ist auch eine Art zu entkommen, wa? Oder so.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Sollen wir ihm den Gefallen tun? Nö.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Das ist okay. Das ist aber ein tiefes Loch. Ich glaube, ich drehe doch wieder um. Ups. Da bin ich aus Versehen rückwärts reingelaufen. Wie konnte das nur passieren? Na, guck mal, ich lebe noch.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Bye. Ich stehe gleich wieder in meinem Büro. Das ist alles nur ein schlechter Traum. Oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oder auch nicht. Ja, auch immer diese nette Stimme gerade war. Da sind wieder Wörter. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Das ist ja uncool, aber guck mal, ich habe unseren Computer gefunden. Bürogrundriss. Dieser Plan zeigt das Büro vom Spielanfang. Der Weg von Stanleys Büro zu den beiden Türen war der erste Teil des Spiels, der gebaut wurde. Im Laufe der Entwicklung wurden Abschnitte hinzugefügt und verändert, aber der Kerngrundriss ist fast identisch zum ersten Durchlauf. Ja, nice. Das von hier so angucken. Huch. Da ist erstmal noch ein anderes Schild. Gang. Es war wichtig, das Spieltempo in diesem ersten Abschnitt richtig einzustellen. Dieser Korridor wurde verschoben und verändert, um sicherzustellen, dass der Spieler die beiden Türen in einer guten Zeit erreicht. Nice. Die zwei offenen Türen waren der erste konkrete Teil des The Stanley Parable Designs. Als dieser Raum erstellt worden war, entwickelte sich der Rest des Spiels als eine Erweiterung davon, eine Erkundung des Widerspruchs, der diesen Raum darstellte. Sehr gut. Aktenschränke. Büro. Computer. Guck, da spielt wirklich jemand Solitär. Oh. Jetzt nicht mehr. Employee Database. Nö. Brauchen wir nicht. Installation. Chart Pro 2.01. Natürlich. Wird nicht mehr weiter installiert. Das Büro. 1, 2, 3. Letzte Chance vorbei. Wenn ihr wirklich richtig steht, seht ihr, wenn das Licht angeht oder so. Knopfgeräusche. Eine Auswahl an Geräuschen, die im gesamten Spiel beim Drücken von Knöpfen verwendet werden. Jedes Geräusch ist eine Mischung aus einem Tastaturanschlag und einem künstlichen Ton. Sehr gut. Ich würde sagen, oh, das ist sehr anders. Und der macht auch nur eine Tonhöhe? Das ist ja öde. Haben wir Credits. Schön so an der Wand an der Tafel, ne? Sehr gut. Gott, das ist ja... Ne? 2013, das ist schon fast 10 Jahre her, dass das Original rauskam, ne? Das ist schon ein paar Tage her. Das Büro. Noch mehr davon. Wartungsraum. Eine erste Version des Wartungsraums. Sieht noch nicht so fancy aus, ne? Ein Fotokopierer. Mehr Bilder. Fun! Oh, das soll das Geld sein. Da fliegt Geld in unserem Büro rum und wir sind nicht da. Das ist ja ganz schön dreist. Da ist ja noch ein Weg. Schlachtfeld. Schon früh in der Entwicklung haben wir einen Endentwurf, bei dem Stanley auf einem Schlachtfeld landet und gegen Aliens kämpft. Das Actionspiel sollte empfindungsfähig werden und Krieg gegen den Erzähler führen. Kurz nachdem wir mit der Entwicklung begonnen hatten, merkten wir, dass das viel zu witzig und zu kurz gedacht war für den Charakter des Spiels. Außerdem wurde es von manchen Leuten so interpretiert, dass das Spiel sich über Leute lustig macht, die Ego-Shooter mögen, was nicht unsere Absicht war. Sehr gut. Ultra Deluxe Ankündigungen. Im Dezember 2018 kündigten wir bei den Game Awards die Ultra Deluxe Version von The Stanley Parable an. Dies sind Screenshots und Videos, die wir für die Ankündigung und Verzögerung des Spiels gemacht haben. Oh. Die Lounge. Die erste Version der Lounge. Auch noch sehr leer, ne? Mehr Kram vom Büro. Erzähler-E-Mails. Nach dem zweiten Trailer haben wir die Leute darum gebeten, dem Erzähler Fragen per E-Mail zu schicken. Obwohl wir diese für weiteres Promomaterial eingeplant hatten, haben wir keine perfekte Anwendung dafür gefunden. Hier sind einige dieser E-Mails. Dear Narrator, I appreciate the previous Stanley game as a work of art and standalone title. I appreciate the credit given to art. Das kann ich doch bestimmt alles wieder nicht so schnell vorlesen, ne? Wir lassen das einfach so ein bisschen auf uns wirken. Das wäre wahrscheinlich noch gegangen. What is the difference between a duck? Das wüsste ich auch gerne. How is the game going? I hope it's as good or better than the first one. From a cool man. Are you a rock? Muss man auch mal gefragt haben, ne? Also, ob da jemand ein Stein ist. Could you tell me what the significance of the number 1112800 is? Das ist eine Zahl. Well, the thing I want to know is, what would you do if Stanley entered any other rooms? Das werden wir wohl nie herausfinden. Und noch mehr Text. Gucken wir mal weiter. Gehen wir erst hier oben rum. Oh. Stanleys Büro. Von links nach rechts. Die Entwicklung von Stanleys Büro im Laufe der Zeit. Das erste wurde im November 2011 erstellt, das zweite im März 2012 und das dritte im Februar 2013. Das hier sieht sehr unsympathisch aus, dass das halt nicht ganz in der Ecke von dem Raum steht, ne? Sehr gut, Silo. Irgendwann muss es ja mal Klick machen, ne? Zwischen den beiden Versionen haben sich nur geändert, dass manche der Schubladen offen sind, auf dem Tisch ein bisschen anderer Kram ist und so, ne? Wir haben ein Bild bekommen. Ja, nice. Spieldesign-Modell. Das ist das Level, das William, der Leveldesigner, Davy, dem Autor, als eine Art Vorspielstück geschickt hat. Die Stärke des Levels führte dazu, dass William für das Design des gesamten Spiels eingestellt wurde. Obwohl sich viel an der Umgebung geändert hat, ist der Grundriss dieses Modells immer noch im Spiel enthalten. Ja, aber das so kaputte drumherum, das haben wir noch nicht gesehen, ne? Da ist ein Fahrstuhl. Aber erstmal hier. Countdown-Raum. Eine erste Version des Countdown-Raums. Sieht noch sehr viel runder aus, ne? Wer piept hier? Oh, du piepst einfach von alleine. Überwachungsraumaufzug. Eine Zeit lang konnte der Aufzug im Monitorraum nach oben oder unten fahren, mit Freiheit oben und Countdown unten. Das haben wir aufgegeben, weil die Spieler es so schwierig fanden, sich zu merken, was oben und was unten war, und haben stattdessen die beiden Endungen zusammengelegt. Freiheitsende. Das ist das Freiheitsende, wie es in der Beta-Version vorkam. Was piept denn hier? Countdown Schreibtisch. Eine der Schreibtische aus einer ersten Version des Countdown-Endes. Zeig dich nochmal. Na los. Piep, piep, piep. Gehen wir erst weiter hier rum. Na, was haben wir da? Freiheitsende. Das war die allererste Verkörperung des Freiheitsendes in der Alpha-Version des Spiels. Haben wir noch sogar Bäume. Was ist da? Bürouhr. Ja, nice. Schon mal so eine schicke Uhr gesehen. Ich habe schon wieder versucht zu springen. Chefbüro. Screenshot von der Entwicklung des Chefbüros. Ja, sind schon da links und rechts noch alles ein bisschen leerer, ne? Hier erstmal noch so ganz leer und hier ein bisschen mehr schon. Und dann mal so richtig. Was haben wir denn hier noch? Die Lounge. Untergrund. Eine erste Version des Untergrundteils des Spiels. Der Escape sieht ja doch ein bisschen anders aus. Und dieses Mind Control Facility Schild auch. Es wird hier gelabert. Erzähler-Outtakes. Ah. Kevin Brighting, die Stimme des Erzählers, hat im Verlauf...
Stanley walked through the green door. Then he pushed the number 8.
Der zweijährigen Entwicklungszeit sämtlichen Dialog für das Spiel ungefähr 3-mal aufgenommen. Das sind Clips aus ersten Takes, die im finalen Spiel nicht verwendet wurden. Sch. Jetzt darfst du reden.
Stanley walked over the bridge.
Klingt jetzt nicht nach Outtakes, sondern einfach nur nach ersten Versionen, ne?
Then he pushed the number 4. Stanley pushed the orange lever. And finally, he pushed the number 6. Stanley pushed the orange lever. And finally, he pushed the number 6. Still nothing. I don't know. Well, in that case, I'll tell you what.
Klang jetzt halt echt nicht nach Outtakes, ne? Ah, hier war ich gerade schon. So, jetzt sind wir einmal im Kreis gelaufen, aber wir haben ja trotzdem noch nicht alles gesehen. Hier waren wir ja doch noch nicht. Der Wohnungstimer. In einer früheren Version der Entscheidung, die zum Apartmentende geführt hat, hat ein Timer einem 15 Sekunden Zeit gegeben, um ans Telefon zu gehen. Wenn man nicht ans Telefon gegangen ist, hat das zu einem anderen Ende geführt. Der Lastenaufzug. Die zweite Version ist funktional die gleiche wie die im finalen Spiel, aber wir wollen, dass es mehr wie ein Ort aussieht, an dem tatsächlich Fracht gelagert wird. Sollte schon, ne? Der Lastenaufzug. Der Lastenaufzug sollte immer die Wahl bieten, auf dem Weg zu bleiben oder auf einem anderen Weg zu springen. Nach dieser ersten Version entschieden wir jedoch, dass wir auch die Option wollen, dass der Spieler in den Tod stürzt. Ja, nice. Oh. Meetingraum. Was haben wir hier? Wartungsraum Grundriss. Es war wichtig, den Lauf der Gänge nach den ersten beiden Türen richtig hinzubekommen, da die Spieler wiederholt durch sie gehen würden. Wir haben eine Reihe von Entwürfen diskutiert, aber letztendlich hat sich die einfachste Variante durchgesetzt. Das ist wahrscheinlich keine schlechte Idee, ne? Maintenance-Raum. Haben wir one option, one doorway to maintenance in the lounge. Two options, two doorways to maintenance. The other entrance would be hidden depending on how you entered. Number 3, one option, one doorway to maintenance in the lounge and the original back on track option. To confusion ending. Spoilert hier schon alles voll. Number 4, Event. What about this? Ja, weiß ich ja nicht. Was haben wir hier? Sending-Hebel. Diese Hebel waren ursprünglich Teil von Sending. Der Spieler sollte an einem Hebel ziehen und der Erzähler sollte beschreiben, an welcher Farbe er gezogen hat. Aha. Sending. Dieser Screenshot zeigt eine erste Version des Endes, das als Sending bekannt ist und das letztendlich ausgeschnitten und mit einem anderen Teil des Spiels zusammengefügt wurde. Sehr gut. Sending-Modell. Das Sending durchlief viele Anpassungen. Dieser Raum zeigt die 4. Version des Endes und wir dachten, es sei vollständig, beschlossen aber kurz vor der Veröffentlichung, es zu verwerfen und zu ändern. Was man halt so macht. Oh. Jetzt bin ich wieder hier. Aber da bin ich noch nicht lange. Oh. Pausemenü. Lange Zeit hatten wir ein Ende, das nur endete, wenn der Spieler aus dem Pausemenü neu startete. Leider haben nur sehr wenige Spieler erkannt, dass sie dies tun sollten, was für alle frustrierend war. Ja, das klingt schon ein bisschen frustrierend. Oh. Trailer. Wir haben im Laufe der Spielentwicklung 4 große Teaser-Trailer produziert, die alle etwas über den Geist des Spiels vermitteln sollten. Dies ist der erste veröffentlicht im Mai 2012. Er zeigt eine Reihe von kaputten Räumen und die Stimme des Erzählers, der den Zuschauern mitteilt, dass er eine neue Version von The Stanley Parable repariert. Haben wir hier nur keinen Ton, ne? Zu dem Video. Das ist ja schade. Dann ist das ja auch öde, ne? Dann gehen wir doch mal. Entkommen wir weiter. Oh.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Jetzt mache ich das Spiel aus.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Oh. Alles schwarz. Hey, wir sind zurück. Habe ich gehört, wir gehen jetzt nochmal dahin und beenden das Spiel, wenn sie das sagt? Und gucken, was dann passiert.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Machen wir.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Machen wir so. Finde ich, ist ein guter Plan.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
Das ist
Feeling
okay.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, guck mal, da geht die Tür schon auf.
Here's the door, just go.
Here's the door, just go. Ist ja gut. Ich gehe ja schon.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Nö.
Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Ja, ja. Hast du mir eben schon gesagt. Ist auch wahr geworden, aber
Was
hey.
not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Ich bin genau auf dem Weg, wo ich sein
Stanley was making
möchte.
a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward, and willingly confront his death.
Klicken wir dabei noch ein bisschen rum. Einfach weil wir es können, ne? Oh nein, ich bin schon wieder gefallen. Wie ist das nur passiert? Klonk.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Bye.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Glaube ja nicht.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless.
Zeile, du brauchst dir keine Ausrede aussuchen, um auf der Tastatur rumzuhauen. Das kannst du auch so tun. Eindeutig. Nur nicht zu viel.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
Okay. Ich habe aber nur zum Menü zurück. Und zurück zum Desktop. Drücken wir trotzdem mal, ne? Jetzt im Stream zwar eher mehr pink oder lila oder wie auch immer, aber das ist ja nur, weil ich das Bild da im Hintergrund habe. Da ist es wieder. Du willst schon wieder meine Uhrzeit wissen. Hast du das einfach nicht gemerkt? Schon fast. Stunde her, seitdem wir angefangen haben. Sekunde mal, warte. Kann ich kurz was sagen, bevor wir loslegen? Danke, dass du die Uhrzeit beide Male eingestellt hast, nachdem du das Spiel gestartet hast. Viele nehmen diesen Schritt nicht ernst. Sie belassen die Uhrzeit einfach bei 12 Uhr und lassen es gut sein. Aber du machst dir tatsächlich die Mühe, die Uhrzeit einzustellen, und das weiß ich zu schätzen. So weiß ich, dass dir diese Erfahrung wichtig ist. Du bist aufmerksam. Ich kann gar nicht wissen, ob die von dir eingestellten Uhrzeiten korrekt sind. Pass auf, ich habe einen Vorschlag für dich. Da du so kooperativ warst, kannst du bei dem nächsten Spielstart, wenn du diesen Bildschirm siehst, einfach deine Lieblingszeit einstellen. Oh. Mach nur, nimm einfach die Uhrzeit, die du willst. Selbst wenn es nicht die richtige Zeit ist. Du hast es dir verdient. Alles klar, ich lass dich jetzt mal weiterspielen. No, das war ja schon cute. Na gut, dass ich die Uhrzeit eingestellt habe, ne? Das war ja schon süß.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Ja, das wissen wir schon. So weit müssen wir das Intro auch nicht nochmal schauen. Oh, willkommen zurück, Errungenschaft freigeschaltet. Beende das Spiel und starte es dann erneut. Ja, nice.
All of his coworkers were gone.
Das hat mir gerade voll gespoilert, was ich machen kann, ne? Das ist ja doof.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Okay. Never mind. Das war also schon Absicht, ne?
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Bin aber auch voll auf den Leim gegangen mit dem Erfolg, ne?
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417. 417. Wo ist diese Tür? Die muss ja irgendwo hier sein. Ey. Ach, da.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Okay. Jetzt werden wir hier rumgescheucht. 437. Da.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415. Da. 415 ist hier.
Now, back to door number 437.
Okay. So ein Quatsch.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
The Copy Machine, das ist aber nicht mal eine Tür. Oh. Wo ist der Kopierer? Kopierer, wo bist du? Ich da weitergehe, dann bin ich doch bestimmt schon zu weit. Ich habe nicht richtig geguckt. Jetzt geht's doch gleich einfach nur weiter. Das wollen wir ja auch nicht. Ach, da.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
417 auf dahin. Da.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Okay.
Yes, this is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
416.
We've almost got it. Now the copy machine, do that one again.
Wie aufgeregt der wird.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 clicks on door 430. Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks.
Ich will nicht wissen.
Really now? What were you thinking?
Ich will nicht wissen, wie weit er gekommen ist. Also, nee. Das kann er, glaube ich, für sich behalten. So wie er geklungen hat.
When Stanley came to a set of 2
kann er für
open
sich
doors,
behalten.
he entered the door on his left.
Aber hey, wir haben den Erfolg bekommen.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Jetzt wieder offen.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Nö. Jetzt tu mal nicht so, als ob ich hier noch nie gewesen bin. Also bitte.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Doch, finde ich schon. Das ist so ein schönes Geräusch hier.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Däumchen drehen kann ich.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Weil ich's kann. Damit du doofe Fragen stellen kannst.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Tja, du hast die Bretter aber wieder davon abgemacht, also von daher.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Findet ihr das beunruhigend hier, was ich gerade tue, Chat?
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably
Wow.
got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Weiß Bescheid.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Oh nein,
In a
Becky ist
situation
besorgt.
like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Wisst ihr Bescheid, Chat? Ich bin tot. Und das hat jetzt auch niemand gehört, dass ich tot bin, weil ich habe ja Kopfhörer aufgehabt. Also, jetzt solltet ihr euch Sorgen machen. Jetzt wird's Zeit, um sich Sorgen zu machen. Deswegen gehen wir jetzt auch nicht hier raus, weil ich bin ja tot. Guck, jetzt bin ich auch gar nicht mehr da. Bin ich einfach verschwunden. Was kann man da nur machen? Jetzt seht ihr nicht mal mehr, dass ich hier bin. Ich könnte ja jetzt auch sonst wo sein und einfach tot sein. Obwohl ich immer noch rede, aber das ist ja egal. Da bin ich wieder. Ich bin doch immer noch hier, aber ich bin immer noch tot. Kommt hier jetzt noch was? Oder darf ich hier bleiben? Weil kann ja nicht sein, dass er uns so voll labert und dann passiert hier nichts mehr. Da leuchtet was. Ich hab Zeit, Mr. Erzähler-Typi. Ja, ich bin rausgegangen. Erzähl weiter. Nee, kauft er mir nicht ab. Das ist ja schade. Das ist ja schade.
Ah, second player. You too? Unbelievable.
Ah, ich habe nicht lang genug gewartet. Ich habe nicht gedacht, er redet los.
Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Da redet er einfach los, als ich rausgehe, aber da habe ich schon wieder zurückgedrückt, Mann. Ah ja, dieser neue Jan hier, der will auch in der Besenkammer bleiben. Die ist so schön bequem. Guck mal einfach diese Ecke hier an. Guck mal, was ich da für einen Ausblick einfach habe. Also. Na, gehen wir mal weiter.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Was für ein Geständnis hast du denn, Becky? Muss ich ja doch nochmal zurückgehen und warten, ne? Das geht ja sonst nicht. Dass du hier was erzählst und ich... Jetzt die Tür zu, verdammt. Ich kann nicht mehr in meine Besenkammer zurück. Shit. Warum ist denn die Tür jetzt zu? Da war doch vorhin noch ein Fahrstuhl. No. Aber... Ich wollte doch noch in den anderen Fahrstuhl. Du hast ja ein Achievement bei Cookie Clicker bekommen für 1 Jahr spielen. Müsste ich eigentlich auch schon haben. Weiß ich gar nicht. Bei mir läuft das ja doch auch immer mal wieder. Sehe ich aber kein Problem. Also. Solange es nicht 1 Jahr 24/7 offen hat, geht das ja noch.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Also eigentlich wollte ich ja in den Fahrstuhl, ne? Aber die Tür war jetzt nicht offen. Weil wir jetzt hier wieder so, in dem Abschnitt wieder so gesehen am Anfang sind, ne? Das spielen wir, ich hatte das die letzten Tage jetzt wieder ein paar Mal offen. Also habe ich vielleicht einfach nicht gesehen, dass ich das Achievement bekommen habe. Oder mir fehlen noch ein paar Tage oder so. Ich glaube, du hattest das ein paar Tage vor mir.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh, ich kann einfach wieder wegfahren, guck mal.
Oops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Der Knopf hat geleuchtet, da konnte ich nicht widerstehen. Hallo, da bin ich
Here we are,
wieder.
Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated.
Ja, kannst mal sehen.
It's a keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Ja, nice. Juckt dich nicht, schade. Vielleicht kann ich ja gehen. Darf ich nicht. Lass mich hier irgendwo raus. Ich will nicht da runterfahren, Mann. Da unten stinkt's. Da fahren wir halt wieder runter und dann nochmal hoch, wa?
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Tja, ich bin halt voll der Pro im Storytelling. Also, da machst du mir nichts vor. Guck mal.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Ja, also ich bin auch schon voll gespannt. Guck mal, was hier ist.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me.
Ja,
Give me a
same.
time out here for a minute while I process this.
Oh. Hi, Kampfi, schönen guten Abend.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
Du albern.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality.
Bist du sicher?
As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Aber ich habe doch gehört, alle guten Dinge sind 3. Ich bin erst zweimal Aufstuhl gefahren, Fahrstuhl gefahren.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Also hier ist noch gar nichts stale und repetitive. Guck mal, was ich kann. Er ist fertig mit mir. Hat keinen Bock mehr. Oh,
You know,
never mind.
I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you
Oh.
realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Oh ja, voll gerne.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting?
Das ist ja
isn't
voll
it?
romantisch.
It seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you.
Gern
You're
geschehen.
the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better.
Oh.
Good, we're here.
Ja, voll gut.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Lass mich raten, das ist the boss's office. World's healthiest human being, all tricks revealed. How he did it, the pyramids. Live, the guy who went to Mars. Ganz oft wie All Eyes on Stanley, live on stage. An evening with world peace, baby. Nee, danke.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
Aber ich will hier noch gucken. Was haben wir da? The Stanley Parable Stanley. Tonight, live on stage. The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. Stanley from the Stanley Parable. Tonight, live on stage. Stage door. A Q&A with world's first sentient machine. Okay. Doing great. A conversation with Alexander the Great. To stage.
Right.
Welcome,
Are you ready?
Stanley.
I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry. You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
Stanley Rider. Almonds, Chair, Gum, Table, Nut Bar. Sehr gut. Du hast Alexander gehört? Ja, aber du bist ja Alex TV98. The Lord plus Meet and Greet. Sehr gut. Steht da ganz oben noch? Featured Keynote Speaker. Okay. Live, the guy who went. Ja, das hatten wir schon. Doing great. Oh. Guck mal, voll der Comfy-Chair. Und ein erste Minigolfbahn. Ich bin berühmt. Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from. Your coworkers. Oh, sie existieren also doch. Steht da? An unforgiving account of ups and as well as downs. Highs and lows. Isn't that what life's about? Bewertung für das Buch. Oh. Up again, down again. The Stanley story. The storyteller. Stanley reveals all in his new book. In den Koffer haben wir ganz viele Aufklebern drauf, so, ne? I went to the mind control facility and all I got was this lousy stick. Auf natürlich. I played the demo. Habe ich noch gar nicht on stream getan. Wish you were here. A lower from the freedom ending. Wow. Break a leg, champ. Your boss. Stanley, my true love for you grows every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife. From the apartment ending. Von all den Enden, die wir noch gar nicht gesehen haben, ne? I love the way you write elevators. XX. No one tells stories the way you do. Go get him, Tiger. Stanley, me. Was auch immer das für ein Wort sein soll. Age 6. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You're too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. Was ist alles hier für ein Unsinn, ne? Ich weiß doch eh genau, was da gleich für ein Raum sein wird. Oh. The dude who came up with pizza. An audience with the dude who came up with pizza. Na. Oh, ich darf nicht mehr zurück. Oh. Und Boss's Office. Oder auch nicht. Hey. Das ist ja was.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ich will aber noch mal in den einen Fahrstuhl rein.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door.
Oder noch mal in den Schrank. In die Besenkammer. Hallo Miri, schönen guten Abend.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Okay. Ich bin dann mal wieder tot, ne? Bye. Vielleicht sagt er ja diesmal nochmal Kram. Vielleicht auch nicht. Ihm hat er schon so viel gelabert. Ja, ich bin ja eben. Bin auf der Bühne gestorben. War ich einfach zu nervös. Waren es viel zu viele Menschen. Und deswegen bin ich jetzt wieder in der Besenkammer. Eindeutig.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walks upstairs to his boss's office.
Ich will gucken, ob ich jetzt gleich wieder an den Fahrstuhl da dran darf. Aber erstmal aufs Klo. Oh. Oh, der Text ist ja anders. I've got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse. Aha. Noch ein Fahrstuhl zum Rumfahren. Das sind Stimmen meiner Musik. 3, 4. Voll die lange Fahrstuhlfahrt. Ach, der macht jemand auch mit du. Was eine schön lange Fahrstuhlfahrt, ne? Ist ja voll fancy. Und nochmal von vorne. Ich glaube, wir sind mal fertig. Ich bin ja nicht weit gefahren. Na dann. Noch eine Runde. So ein Unsinn, ey. Ist klar, dass ich mich auch nicht bewege, wenn ich immer beide Knöpfe drücke. So funktionieren Fahrstühle nicht. Weil in der Regel sind ja auch Knöpfe mit Zahlen in einem Fahrstuhl. Aber das ist ja egal. Ich würde schon fast sagen, ist ja bald schon eh Zeit für Pause. Dann machen wir einfach hier Pause und bleiben im Fahrstuhl stehen. Das wäre doch auch mal was, oder nicht? Eigentlich finde ich die Idee echt gar nicht so doof. Weil meine Pauseszene dafür gar nicht eingerichtet ist. Aber das kann man ja eben hier noch ändern, während wir am Rumwubbeln sind, ne? Das kriege ich hin. Kommt das einmal dahin. Das. Das kommt weg. Das auch. Und das auch. Und dann müsste ich alles umgestellt haben für die Pause. Dann können wir jetzt noch ein bisschen hier im Fahrstuhl chillen. Wo auch immer wir hier was zu trinken finden, uns was Neues zu trinken holen. Jetzt ein bisschen die Beine im Kreis vertreten. Und dann sehen wir uns in ein paar Minuten wieder. Also, bis gleich. Und da bin ich wieder. Willkommen zurück euch allen. Ich hab's zurückgeschafft. Hier stehen wir noch im Fahrstuhl. Ich habe gerade die Kamera ein bisschen bewegt. Es tut mir leid. So, jetzt lassen wir mal eben schnell den Kram direkt wieder fixen. Für meinen Pause-Screen und den Quatsch. Was war das dann, wenn ich nachher aufhöre? Auch wieder alles richtig habe, ne? Weil das wäre ja sonst Quatsch. Aber ja, ruined, es tut mir leid. Habe ich, bevor ich die Szene gewechselt habe und so, aus Versehen noch wieder ins Spiel geklickt. Habe ich alles kaputt gemacht. Dann müssen wir wohl nochmal eine 5-Minuten-Pause machen, wa? Also bis gleich. Nee, das natürlich jetzt nicht. Wir machen jetzt schon weiter. Lass mich raus. Jo. Und wenn wir den Kram ja schon gemacht haben, gehe ich einfach nicht runter, weil die Tür zu ist. Okay.
Stepping into his
Ich könnte auch einfach so machen, ne?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Eine
Stanley
Sache.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Wo seid ihr, Coworkers? Warum bin ich alleine? Hilfe! Ich will hier raus. Warum ist alles draußen so hell? Wer hat die Sonne auf 12 gestellt? Ist mal hier. Ist überall ausmachen. Das hier ist auch ein super Arbeitsplatz, by the way, ne? Stell dir vor, du wirst einfach nur als Bleistiftanspitzer eingestellt. Was ein Job.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Also der Stream hat so Tags und da stehen so 2 Tags, die dir sagen, ob du das darfst oder nicht. Awaiting Input. Oh, Input received. Sehr gut. Das müssen wir, glaube ich, noch öfter machen. Lass mal sehen, ob ich da so Kram machen darf.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ich muss wahrscheinlich erstmal wieder hier so machen und so. Erstmal wieder alles ausschalten. Habe ich eben auch getan.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-worker. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Jawohl. Du sagst neue Sachen, das advanced das hier schon voll. Da habe ich nur den Kopierer angeklickt, obwohl du mir das gar nicht gesagt hast.
Oh, please.
Haben wir schon. Schuss. Wollte nur gucken, ob du das nochmal sagst.
Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, 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 no. I can't. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Beep boop. Ey. Ey. Das ist aber eben nicht passiert. Ey. Hilfe.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Die Tür ist eben auch nicht zugegangen, Mann. Oh, lass mich wieder raus. Lass mich in mein Büro. Da ist es sicher. Hilfe. Warum ist hier niemand?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ja, 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 ja. Hilfe.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ja, ich gehe voll nach oben, rückwärts. Oh. Da liegt ein weißer Zettel rum. Kann ich das lesen? Da steht irgendwas Hi und andere Wörter. Willkommen zurück, Silo. Ein Auto.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Ich bin
And for that
wahnsinnig.
matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Nee, ich war hier unten noch
No,
nie.
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
War ich
He thought
nicht.
to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nope.
Stanley began screaming.
Ah!
Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh. Darf ich jetzt mal wieder ein bisschen
This
reden?
is the story
Nope.
of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
Ich will aber mal kurz reden. Ich meine ja, manche Chat-Nachrichten kommen ja wegen manchen Emotes nicht durch, ne? Und ich habe da, glaube ich, in der Liste nie dazu geschrieben, dass die Cake-W-Emotes da auch zugehören. Weil ich finde die auch anstrengend, wie Leute die benutzen.
She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay. Meine Leiche gesehen? Ach, ist egal, gehen wir mal weiter. Ich muss ja arbeiten. Nee, ist ja alles gut. Aber nee. KW finde ich. Ich weiß nicht, das hat irgendwie immer so. Wie das aussieht, das hat immer Arschloch-Vibes vom Lachen her irgendwie. Und das muss auch nicht unbedingt sein.
I can't wait to tell this story to my coworkers, Stanley thought.
Oh.
How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing? No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his coworkers.
Das war aber gerade ein anderer Text da am Anfang, habe ich genau gehört. Warum ist die Tür eigentlich eben zugegangen? Finde ich immer noch nicht okay. Da ist ja nichts passiert, wir waren ja gerade nur tot. Immer noch kein neuer Computer zum drauf rumtippen. Das ist ja doof. Oh. New Content. Aber ich bin doch mit dem alten Content noch gar nicht fertig. Da ist doch noch genug anderer Kramtür. Ich kann hier doch noch nicht lang gehen. Deswegen machen wir das jetzt auch einfach noch nicht. Erstmal so, ne? War hier jetzt eigentlich noch was? Ich bin gerade runtergegangen und dann kam nur der ganze andere Quatsch da, ne?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ja, das habe ich gespielt. Das ist aber auch schon eine Ewigkeit her. Und jetzt sind wir doch wieder direkt einfach nur hier. Dann gehen wir doch jetzt mal durch die rechte Tür. Da redet niemand mehr mit mir. Hey. Hallo? Mr. Erzähler-Typi. Hallo? Vielleicht darf ich auf meinen Computer gleich nochmal einen Input machen. Hier. Also erstmal klingelt das Telefon. Hallo? Das ist nicht das Telefon, was klingelt? Das Telefon klingelt. Hallo?
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Ich hatte jetzt leider keinen Stift zum Mitschreiben. Tut mir leid. Ich weiß, Milch und Müsli. Ja, das war eine ganz schön lange Liste, ne? Haben auch voll gerade Subtitles gefehlt. Ich wollte zu meinem Computer zurück. Was, wenn ich hier einfach neu starte? Spaghetti und Kaffeebohnen. Genau, Kaffeebohnen waren da auch noch bei.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it.
Was?
If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Mein Büro ist zu. Hilfe! Wenn sich jeder was gemerkt hat, kriegen wir die Einkaufsliste zusammen hin. Ja, ich glaube auch. Was passiert hier? War der Raum da eben schon so? Oder werde ich jetzt einfach wahnsinnig? Wer ist hier hinter mir her? Wo? Wer ist es gewesen? Kannst du mir doch nicht einfach antun. Sagen, dass ich verfolgt werde. Finde ich nicht in Ordnung. Nochmal neu starten, das ist mir zu creepy, eindeutig. Das geht so nicht.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer,
Ich weiß es
perhaps,
nicht.
and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Es tut mir leid, ich wollte nicht aufstehen. Ah.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Auch habe ich nur mein Büro verlassen. Ah. Hilfe, es tut mir leid. Lass mich zurück. Schon viel besser. Heißt immer noch keine neue Arbeit, Mann.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Den hatten wir aber eben auch schon.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Da ist auch niemand zu Hause.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling
Ja. Jetzt lass mich wirklich mal durch die rechte Tür gehen. Hab mich genug ablenken lassen.
how long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something
Jahrhundert.
crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from when Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Wusste ich
Perhaps
das.
he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Auf jeden Fall. Nur um sie zu bewundern.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Also ich finde diese Kante hier ja schon sehr hässlich, ne? Also muss ich ja schon sagen. Da liegen hier einfach Zettel rum und eine Kiste
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Ja, voll. Voll die Kaffeetassen. Be my
At this
Valentine.
point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Ja, genau. Die verlassen die Arbeit, weil ich zu lange im Pausenraum bin. Eindeutig. Guck dir doch mal dieses schöne Bild an. Also,
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
was ist denn die Nachricht? Du musst da ein bisschen direkter sein. Ich verstehe das sonst nicht. Ich find's hier gemütlich. Hier um kurz vor 10. Hoffentlich morgens und nicht abends, sonst wäre es auch nicht so geil, in der Arbeit zu sein hier und auf einer Tastatur rumzutippen. Will mir das Spiel jetzt irgendwas sagen? Also, ich habe gesagt, es muss deutlicher sein. Sonst warte ich auf eine Nachricht. Also. Ich meine, dieses Herumgedruckse. Nicht direkt sagen, was los ist. Schlimm. Finde ich nicht in Ordnung. Also. Ich habe Zeitspiel. Du auch? Wahrscheinlich schon. Habt ihr Zeit, Chat? Noch ein paar Getränke für 1,25. Wir haben Blau, wir haben Blau, wir haben Blau, wir haben Grün, wir haben Blau-Rot, wir haben Lila und wir haben Gelb. Ich nehme einmal alles, bitte. Ich habe mein Geld zu Hause vergessen. Mist. Ich glaube, wir gehen mal weiter. Ich habe verstanden.
But at last,
No.
he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Soll ich da links lang gehen? Das wäre ja albern. Sollen wir nochmal auf dich hören? Ja, komm.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door and got back on track.
Wie viel Wege es mir gerade geben will, wegzugehen, ne? Finde ich nicht gut. Wo ist meine Besenkammer? Ich möchte weinen. Die kam jetzt erst, ne?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Aber da war ich.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ich muss mal. Ich muss mir die Tür wieder ins Gesicht schlagen. Den Text hatten wir eben auch schon. Heißt das, ich konnte wieder Fahrstuhl fahren tatsächlich? Weil wir hier nicht weitergemacht haben, ne? Nee, dann lass noch mal so.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to
Yay.
himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Weil ich auch gar nicht alleine in meinem Büro war, ne? I hate Mondays. Wissen wir doch.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to
Durst.
stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got
Das ist ein
back on
Knopf.
track.
Mehr Fahrstuhlgefahre. Du, 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 du,
But Stanley
du.
didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Aber hier ist auch eine Tür. Oh. Habe ich keine Wahl? Das ist aber gemein.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Dankeschön. Schlag sie mir halt direkt vor der Nase zu und nochmal.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Okay.
Let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Warum ist hier auch schon wieder ein Auto, was an ist? Oh.
No. This isn't
Whoops.
right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ich will mich nochmal verwirren lassen. Ich will nochmal gespoilert werden. Oh no. War das da eben schon? Mir ist mir der Fleck nur nicht aufgefallen und die Tasse. Was ist hier los? Wer verfolgt mich? Oh.
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
Das sind aber ein paar
Did something
Türen.
change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Ooh. Story, wo bist du? Hier? Da will ich aber nicht hin. Das sah nicht so gemütlich aus. Sieht ja alles nicht so gemütlich aus, ne? Oh. Ich bin wieder hier. Ja, nice.
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Jeder weiß, was ich getan habe. Oh nein.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, da sind gar keine Türen.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Na, gucken wir doch mal. Hallo, Story, bist du hier? Haben wir dich vergessen am Anfang? Oh.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Also jetzt wird es erstmal dunkel und wieder hell.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Aber das haben wir doch gerade schon getan. Oh. Das ist auch noch anders.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
Ich weiß
Do
es
you
nicht.
remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
GG.
I put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Oh. Oh, da ist eine Linie.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Ich kann Befehlen nicht folgen. Ist gar nicht, wie das geht. Oh. Aber das ist nicht der Weg. Kann kein Solitär spielen. Das Solitärfenster ist eh viel zu groß. Soll ich mal einfach mal hier lang gehen? Ne, komm, wir folgen jetzt der Linie TM.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa.
Ja, schon.
That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh, das kann ich aber nicht. Oh. Ein Fragezeichen aus Fragezeichen. Bam, badam, bam, badam, bam, bam. Monthly Ledgers, Corporate Imbalances, Financial Records und noch ganz viel anderer Kram. Eine Pflanze.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Okay.
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay, mache ich. So habe ich. Oh,
Wait,
wir sind zurück.
We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Nee, wir sollten uns ja nicht den Sockel davon anschauen, sondern nur die Pflanze. Und die war grün. Oh.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Liegt schon wieder Kram herum. Warte kurz. Muss ich mich mal kurz... HI. Jetzt habe ich auch einfach Beleuchtung in meinem Zimmer an und das Fenster offen, ne? Wenn es dunkel wird. Hast du nicht mal erwischt?
You know what, Stanley?
Oh.
I say forget the adventure line. What's
Aber
it
die
ever done
Linie.
for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Durch 437, ja. Das ist aber sehr gewagt.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Na, ist okay. Wir haben ja eh keine anderen Wege. Da darf Linie mit dabei sein. Guck, sie geht eh wieder weg. Oh.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere. which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Oh, das Verwirrungsende.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
Er hat's kaputt gemacht.
Did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination, so I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh. Wir sind zurück. Woo!
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Ach, wer braucht schon Wetter? Das sieht hier doch alles gerade wieder sehr normal aus. Da. Wetter ist weiß. Reicht doch. Reicht doch voll. Na, dann gehen wir doch mal weiter hier lang.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This
Whoops.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What but eager to get back to business, Stanley took
Wir
the
gehen
first
einfach
open door on his
geradeaus.
left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Tja. Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. Und was, wenn ich nicht lüge? Oder doch? Oder wer weiß da schon, ob ich lüge? Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the
Whoops.
wrong foot. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Dankeschön.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Versuchen wir das nochmal,
Stanley
ne?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Guck mal, ich wurde nicht mal eine Strafe abgenommen bis jetzt, ne? Also.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Ja.
Perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Auf und
I
davon.
think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Gehen wir erstmal hier
Please,
weiter.
stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Wen?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Wer? Wer ist es? Ein schwarzer Raum, das ist ja nice. Ein Telefon.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her.
Aber das
If you
Telefon
truly
klingelt doch.
place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Oh. Hell.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Oh.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
Wow.
They want to commit their life to you. I'm trying
Wow.
to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Nö.
Sorry, but you're in my story now. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Guten Morgen, Mitarbeiter 427. Drücke Z auf deiner Tastatur.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Oh.
Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Ha.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Bitte drücke M, um fernzusehen. Ich will erstmal wissen, wer diesen Sessel hier so hingestellt hat.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Ich drücke Y, um die Zeit mit den Jungs zu verbringen.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Bitte drück J, um Abendessen vorzubereiten.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby.
Was?
And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Spoiler! Bitte drück K, um deinen Kindern eine Geschichte zu erzählen. Ich habe Kinder? What?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over,
Und dann wieder,
wishing beyond hope that it would
wieder.
never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Bitte drück U, um deiner Frau zu sagen, dass du sie liebst.
But there is no answer.
Jetzt ist sie
How
nicht
could
mehr
there
da.
possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Bitte drück U, um schlafen zu gehen.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here. Watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Bitte drück I, um morgens zur Arbeit zu erscheinen. Die Stimme hat mir gesagt, ich soll nichts drücken. Schönes Uhrenticken. Na, drücken wir mal den Knopf.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Bitte drück N, um nichts zu hinterfragen.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Richtig stier.
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Bin ich jetzt tot? Ich dachte, wir wären schon in der Besenkammer gestorben. Oh, wir sind zurück. Wir sind nur eingeschlafen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ich habe nichts gedrückt. Stand da ja nicht, dass ich den Knopf drücken soll, ne? Stand nur, dass ich sterben soll. Und dann bin ich anscheinend gestorben. Oh. Wir sind noch nicht fertig hier. Das ist doch schon wieder anders. Oh. Da sind die Türen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, giddy in a way he had never known before. Was it this room? A connection between the two? Could a man love a room? I mean, truly, truly, deeply, madly, love.
Gibt bestimmt Menschen, die das so tun, also würde mich nicht überraschen.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Gehen wir doch mal denselben Weg lang, ne?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible
Nochmal da hoch.
5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten.
Oder kommt da jetzt einfach nochmal das Gleiche?
Stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley.
Ich weiß. Also bis jetzt sieht das ja schon noch sehr gleich aus.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Das machen wir aber jetzt nicht nochmal alles. Ich drück nicht nochmal eine Million Knöpfe, um mich voll labern zu lassen. So ja wohl nicht, Freundchen. Vielleicht ein anderes Mal. Nee, guck mal, das ist immer noch hier anders, ne?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting
Blah, blah,
room,
blah,
and
blah.
Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic. Like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. It all made Stanley uncomfortable, and he started to bleed a little.
What?
This made him smile.
What?
At last, proof that he was human.
What? Entschuldigung? Was ist da los?
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ich glaube, der Faden, der war pink. Bin ich mir
Stanley was so bad
zu 110% sicher.
it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I'm in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Danger everywhere. Stange. Warning, do not stand on this side of fence. Das ist nicht so gut. Auf der anderen Seite kann ich nicht stehen. Dafür bin ich nicht dünn genug. No buckets past this point. Schade, ich habe keinen, den ich mitnehmen kann.
Now listen carefully.
Oh
This is
nein.
important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay, ich höre ja nochmal auf dich.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I want it to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Oh. Darkness, schon wieder.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Sterne.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Was, Herr Erzähler, was ist los? So blau und weiß. Und blurry. Ja, ich konnte gerade nur im Kreis laufen. Da waren die Türen einfach zu. Das Spiel hat schon mehrmals irgendwie Räume hinter mir verändert, als ich irgendwo lang gegangen bin. Also... Hab genug gesehen. Oh. Guck, das ist auch schon wieder anders.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Der Erzähler hat schon eine Entzugsentscheidung, wa? Komm, wir gehen nochmal für dich ein bisschen zurück.
Right. Where were we?
Du warst glücklich. Und high. Mehr Farben. Noch mehr Farben. Wobei sie vermischen sich nur. Oh.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Da ist aber jemand schnell abhängig von dem Raum geworden.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Na, kann ich nicht versprechen. Tut mir leid.
No. What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
Okay, ich gehe ja nochmal zurück. Chill.
Are you... You are going to stay here, aren't you?
Vielleicht 5 Sekunden. Na, so lange kann ich nicht warten.
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
Okay. Ich gebe dir nochmal 2 Sekunden. Ach, find's gar nicht mehr geil. Hier sagt's gar nichts mehr. Dann kann ich auch wieder gehen. Dann können wir auch weitergehen, da. Ich sterb schon nicht.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Oh.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Wir können ja nochmal zurückgehen, da. Alles gut. Darfst nochmal 5 Sekunden fancy Lichter haben. Bevor ich mich töte. Ach, guck mal, das loopt ja schon. Das ist ja öde. Kann ich einfach hier runterspringen? Nein. Oh.
Oh, thank God.
Ich lebe noch.
Lived. No. No, no. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Weil du mich voll jammerst.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Da habe ich schon mehrmals gemacht. Vielleicht sagst du ja jetzt noch mal was. Auch wenn das jetzt ein bisschen länger dauert, bis ich da bin. Oh. Da ist eine Kindermalerei. Ein Mensch, eine Sonne, ein Hund mit... Das ist wahrscheinlich ein Stock. Da ist ja noch eine
Yes.
Blume und Gras.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
Wird mich der Raum jetzt heilen? Das wäre ja lustig.
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Du bist hier vielleicht glücklich, aber ich doch nicht. Da passiert nicht genug. Nicht genug Action. Und
No,
zurück.
Perhaps not.
Bin aber schon sehr stabil, wenn ich... Ist das nicht sogar höher als eben, als ich von dem Lastkran da gefallen bin?
Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Ja. Ich lebe ja immer noch.
You're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore.
Voll
I just wanted us
deprimiert.
to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Jetzt tut er mir ja schon ein bisschen leid. Er klingt so sad.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
No. Alles gut, du wirst dich an nichts erinnern. Also alles nicht halb so wild.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Gehen wir doch nochmal da lang, ne? Die neue Kontentür wartet immer noch auf mich.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. What a room, Stanley thought to himself. What a room, what a room, what a room.
What room?
This is what Stanley thought. What a room. What a room, what a room. What a room.
What a room.
Va-va-voom. What a room.
What a room. What a room.
But
Das ist
eager
ja schon
to get back
albern.
to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions. it's
Nochmal
incredible he
darunter,
wasn't
ne?
fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Ach,
I
nicht?
realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was annoyed by something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nee, das haben wir ja gerade schon.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
Oh.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Ja, geh ich doch. Rot.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nee, blau.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Oh.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
War ganz okay, ne?
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oh. Ooh. Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. Da cheaten Leute aber so schnell. Did you know that 21.3% of players skipped the intro sequence? Only the worst 3% of players chose the blue door. How long does it take you to get to the correct door? Compete against others to improve your Stanley Parable career. Why not ask some friends for help? Errorless, friendless, empty. Ich bin der schlechteste Spieler weltweit, ja nice. This is your superior. A dead rat is objectively ranked 9,327th out of 9,328 players worldwide. Yay, ich bin schlechter als eine tote Ratte. Woo! Ich bin so gut.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Soll ich wieder 3 machen von 5? Nee, das Leaderboard hat mich gemobbt.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
Nee, gerne.
Let me boot it up.
Zeig her.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Oh Gott, nee, hör auf zu heulen. Oh Gott. Nee, das ist ja furchtbar.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
Ja, beides. Eindeutig.
I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Oh.
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted, erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Oh, guck mal, voll die vielen. Oder ein cooles S. Ist das hier, soll das hier Firewatch sein? Das Logo sieht... Da habe ich das Gefühl, sieht so ein bisschen Firewatch aus. Und da steht auch Firewatch auf dem Papier. Oder zumindest irgendwas Firewatches. Durften sie Minecraft nicht mehr verwenden, weil das jetzt Microsoft gehört, ja. Ich weiß, dass hier mal Minecraft kam und nicht das hier.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
Gehen wir einfach den Weg lang.
It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Oh nein!
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Was wird es denn sein, Schönes? Rocket League! Das ist aber auch neu.
See, this is exactly what I had in mind.
Glaube ich.
Just a nice big box for you to run around.
Weiß ich nicht
There
mehr.
isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Warum ist meine Sicht schief?
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley,
Sports
I
ball.
think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Ich werde schneller. Flump. Ich bin ganz schön klein.
Hold on.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Ich bin ins Tor gefallen. Was ist das, Fall Guys? Oh.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Ich bin irgendwo runtergefallen. Stanley Parable Alpha Test. Ich sehe nicht. Oh. Ich bin nochmal gefallen. Oh, ich bin von der Wand. Ich bin in einem Gang. Hier ist ganz schön dunkel. Hallo? Ist der Erzähler-Dude? Oh, 2 offene Türen. Ist das hier? Geht's zu meinem Büro? Oh, da ist ein Licht. Das sind andere Computer. Das sieht sehr viel fancier aus als das, was ich vorher gemacht habe. Ich kann doch nichts hiermit machen. Oh. Wenn ich den Stuhl anklicke, kommen da keine Klicki-Geräusche. Hallo. Oh. Licht
I
aus.
wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
Natürlich.
I can wait.
Ich kann auch warten. Was da ist?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wir müssen immer noch mehr Computer für Inputs finden, ne? Muss ich einfach mal wieder den normalen Weg weitergehen. Oder? New Content. Der wartet auch immer noch auf uns. Jetzt mal noch mal gucken, ob hier kein neuer Computer war. Hier war noch einer, den ich nicht
No
ausgemacht habe.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Gehen wir doch noch mal den normalen Weg lang. Schauen uns nach Computern um.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Something, something, boss's office. Aha. Gefunden. Aber Computer Nummer 3.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Oh. Wo ist jetzt der nächste, ist natürlich die Frage. Da. Guck mal an. Oh. I did it. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. Ich bin im Himmel. Also ganz viele Knöpfe. Ja, nice. Nein, sie gehen wieder an. Das ist kein Himmel, das ist die Hölle. Ich sollte nächstes Mal mehr Luft holen, dann kann ich das länger tun. Ich habe das Gefühl, hier passiert nichts mehr. Aber kann ich mir da sicher sein, wenn ich nicht jeden Knopf einmal gedrückt habe? Dafür sollte ich die Knöpfe auch weiter drücken, ne? Aber wann weiß ich, wann ich eine Runde gegangen bin, ist die Frage, ne? Weil die gehen ja einfach wieder an. Ich schaffe vielleicht gerade mal eine halbe Runde, ey. Ach, können wir mal ruhig so machen, ne? Genug Knöpfe gedrückt.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nee, wir gehen jetzt hier lang.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Weiß ich nicht. Oh. Ein sich seitlicher bewegender Fahrstuhl. Fahren wir doch mal eine Runde.
And thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Ja, nice.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Das ist bestimmt
well,
jetzt
this
voll.
sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Ich würde sagen, das ist bestimmt jetzt gleich einfach voll scheiße.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Or, oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
New content, the jump circle.
All right, let's see, it's the jump circle.
Ich kann 36 mal springen. Darf ich auch hier springen? Nein. Das ist ja super geil. Ich kann mich sogar beim Springen drehen. Auch nur noch 3 Sprünge übrig. Ich brauche mehr. Ich kann doch nicht wieder ohne Sprünge weitermachen. Du Anzeige. Wie soll ich das nur überleben? Das ist doch nicht möglich. Guck mal, noch 2 und noch einer. Keiner mehr. Oh. Warum? Dann bist du noch so eine hässliche 0. Ich kann doch jetzt so nicht weitermachen, Mann.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, There's more. Very good.
Hey, bis jetzt war es besser als dein Baby-Feuerspiel da.
Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Das ist schon hier alles sehr albern. Ah ja, ich konnte 36 Mal springen, also. Oh. Wir sind nicht zurück. Wir sind zurück in meinem Büro, aber mein Büro ist nicht da, wo es hingehört. Da ist ein Bild von unserem alten Büro. Oder von dem alten Bürogebäude. Das haben wir noch.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent.
Wer bist du, Weedley? Nö. Oh.
Oh. You don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
Ach, guck mal, das ist das Büro. Wir haben es zurückgefunden. Oh. Na, dann gucken wir uns doch seine Überraschung an. Außer er hat jetzt wieder zugemacht.
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Dork. Vielleicht bin ich ja doch einer. Nö. Sag da nichts mehr. Dass ich nochmal weggegangen bin. I'm a fawn, you dog. Oh, warte, falsches Spiel. Ich stehe hier nicht automatisch auf, das ist ja was. Oh.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Oh. Dark Souls mit dem Kopierer. Doch kein Dark Souls.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
Okay.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Ah ja.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Voll die Shots gegen so manche neuen Spiele, wa? Dieses Steamplay, das habe ich ja auch schon ewig nicht mehr gelesen, das Wort. Ist das ein Bild von draußen? Don't forget, Stanley Parable. Stanley Parable, Collector's Edition. First Edition, was steht da? Agile performance for an agile business. Deploy high-impact growth strategies. Dynamically streamline human capital. World-class award. Software product of the year. Today's best ideas. Today. Stanley Parable. Everything you need to make great ideas even better. In today's busy world, it isn't even It isn't easy managing an effective productivity workflow. That's why the Stanley Parable can help you streamline your workplace efficiency with the Stanley Parable Advanced Computer Systems software. Productivity loss and/or efficiency irgendwas becomes a thing of the past. At last, the power to convert ideas into action is at your fingertips with the Stanley Parable at last. It's all in one box and it's all been designed to fit with the way that you run your life into the ground to make money for someone else. At last. Den anderen Text, den kriege ich aber nicht gelesen, der ist dann doch zu blurry. 2014 Independent Games Festival. Audience Award, The Stanley Parable. Oh Gott. British Academy of Film and Television Arts. Awarded to Stanley Parable, natürlich. Good times. Let's begin again. All die Fotos. Und The Original Remake. Buy on Steam. Und dann irgendeine Sidebar mit Nachrichten. Linguists identify 15,000-year-old ultra-conserved words. The Washington Post. Researchers identified 24 words whose sound and meaning have survived the past 15,000 years. Ooh. 6 components of a great corporate culture. John Coleman, Harvard Business Review. Business bloggers at Harvard Business Review discuss a variety of business topics including managing people, innovation, leadership and more. Zwischen Managing und People stand aber kein Komma. Guck mal, Postkarten. Mind Control Facility, Stanley Parable. Our first kiss. My first car. The release of the Stanley Parable in 2013. Stanley Parable. By the Narrator 2013. Sehr gut. Oh, da ist eine Uhr. 20:13 Uhr. Oh, es ist 23:13 Uhr. Haben wir wenigstens die Minute richtig getroffen. A trip down memory lane. Smile because it happened. Eine CD. Bits of music from the Stanley Parable. Eine Dollarnote, natürlich. Darf nicht fehlen. Stanley Parable Demonstration. Die Demo. Go outside. Don't play for 5 years. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. Ja, ja. British Academy. Ja. Das war ja nicht so. Hat gleich 3-mal aufgehängt. Wow. New video game releasing today. Creator surprisingly down to earth. Rutgers goes from scandal to new crisis. Colleges show uneven effort to enroll poor. Costs hinder new tech to achieve diversity. Business leaders pushing election of council allies. 50% of designer head, but a small creature owns the other half. Wow. Late edition. Today, sunny, hot, humid, high 92. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, warm and humid, low 74. Tomorrow, sun and clouds, hot, humid, high 90. Weather map page A18. All the news that's fit to print. Angelus Time. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Das können wir auch schon gar nicht lesen, außer dass es 82 Seiten hat und so ein Kram. Oh. Ach, das ist auch die beste Szene, um sich daran positiv zu erinnern, ne? Stanley tot auf dem Boden und eine Frau guckt ihn an und geht weg. Eine Bank. Darf ich nicht hin. Oh.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Sehr gut. Oh. Memory Zone Maintenance. Sehr gut. Ein Startbildschirm. Noch mehr Fotos. A tasteful nostalgic. It was good. Da sind die beiden Türen. The top 10 memories from the Stanley Parable 2013. I remember. Oh, Person of the Year. Ein sehr blurry Mensch. Knöpfe. Kann ich nicht drücken. Irgendwelche Pläne. Ein Screenshot aus irgendeinem Designprogramm. Oh. The Original Remake. For Scott K. Oh, natürlich auch nochmal Sonnenbild, ne? Bild im Bild im Bild. It's never the end, it's never the end, it's never the end, it's loading. It's never the end, it's never the end. Aber noch ein Bild von dem ganzen Kram. Eine Krawatte. Das ist ja was. Mehr Knöpfe. Oh. Die Tür ist zugegangen. Your number is 29. Is he does?
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Source SDK, move objects, create levels, graphics, upgrade. Literally anything. People play games because of what they can do inside them, and your game is very good at letting them know they can do anything. Ja, nice. Was hatten wir hier? Dom's famous repeatable carpet textures ready for your game project. Gray, red, missing coworkers scenario, grass, trial version, boring und meeting. 6 royalty-free designs. Ja, nice. Und die Tür ist wieder aufgegangen.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Lass es uns herausfinden. Oh, die Maschine. Oh.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Wahrscheinlich nicht. Oh nein.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oh Gott. So ein Quatsch. Was? Nicht jeder mag The Stanley Parable? Direkt abgeschossen. Oh.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Also wenn jemand schon Nudelschafe heißt und sowas schreibt, muss man ja schon recht haben, ne? Ist schön, dass wir nur die schlechten lesen können. Die anderen sind einfach nur blurry Text. More Steam Reviews. Oh oh. Die Musik klingt jetzt nicht so gut. Das klingt fast so, als ob das hier bald creepy wird. Oh.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley parable.
Oh.
That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards. The deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say... The story and the choices.
Oh, lobt er jetzt schon. Ich hab gehofft, er sagt ein bisschen mehr Kram.
So on and so forth, until...
Ich hätte ihn vielleicht nochmal loopen sollen, ne?
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto.
Haben noch nicht genug geskippt.
Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are or were or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto.
Ich habe gar nichts gemacht.
At this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise,
Das machen wir jetzt.
manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
Hast uns doch wieder einen Punkt zum Skippen gegeben, ja.
Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto. Treatise, manifesto.
Okay. Hab verstanden.
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely.
Total.
Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial.
Oh ja, das wäre beste Idee.
This game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Oh. Hast du gedacht, ich drück schon früher, wenn du mir nicht mal mehr Subtitles und so gibst?
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes.
Oh.
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain
Hab ich weggeskippt.
How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go?
Blah, 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 blah.
Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door, as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way.
Mit einem Vorschlaghammer.
You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button.
Aber ich will ihn drücken.
Wait here for
Jetzt
me,
erst recht.
and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
Ups. Habe nicht ausgerutscht.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
Du hast
You've just
immer noch
been
nicht
frozen
gefunden.
there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you?
Weil Geld leuchtet.
Thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews. Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever really matter? But here I am. I'm fixating on every tiny negative thing that anyone ever says about me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections, and I become as impetulant as a child, wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse serve? For whose benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me there. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews.
Oh, der Text war
Those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I
Hast du jetzt
couldn't
gelogen?
ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me
Ja,
to fix
voll
the
gecuttet da
problem?
gerade.
Why did Cookie Nine... Oh, Stanley.
Oh,
You're back. You're back.
wie lange war ich weg?
Goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always?
Ein bisschen
Doesn't
später.
that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along?
Weiß ich nicht.
Yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me.
No.
I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it. To think of returning to such coldness. Come, Let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Ups.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything.
Und jetzt macht er mit uns Schluss.
I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously. I was consumed by it. I could do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a space without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines, and that each of them was simply a strand in the web of my being. It was incredible.
Warum muss ich denn jetzt so rumgehen?
The equanimity of the moment, both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now for longer than I could have ever expected was possible. I have been waiting for you. No. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now. No. And I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Bist du fertig? Darf ich dich wieder skippen? Bist du gleich tot? Ich glaube, jetzt lebt er nicht mehr. Oh. Also wie da draußen auch immer noch Geräusche sind, ne? Das heißt, da muss ja irgendjemand sein. Ich glaube, unser Erzähler ist wirklich tot. Wir haben keinen Ersatz bekommen. Au. Das klingt ja furchtbar.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think. To feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves they couldn't help but leave a negative review on Steam. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amuse them endlessly from start to finish. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much.
Ich habe einen Tropfen gehört. Und ich habe eben noch gesehen, die Uhr ist runtergefallen. Ist der Nagel so durchgerostet?
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Loading is never the end, the end is then the end. It's never the end, 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 it's never the end. It's never the end. Du, 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 du. Nee, warte, ist ja kein Fahrstuhl. Schade. Oh. Alles am Einstürzen, aber nicht so, dass ich hier rauskomme, wa? Aber Hauptsache mein Knopf funktioniert noch. Ja, Licht. Nein, die Leiter ist umgekippt. Oh no. Pflanzen. Und Musik. Wie geht's unserer Leiter? Die chillt immer noch. Oh. Und alles wieder weg. Alles wieder grau und dunkel. Ah, wir haben ja immer noch unseren Knopf, also alles noch gut. Es ist ruhiger geworden. Never mind. Geister. Oh, nein, mein Knopf ist halb im Boden. Alles ist schief. Ich habe einen Ausgang. Ich kann doch nicht hier weggehen. Knopf, rette mich. Er ist kaputt. Nein. Muss ich nach draußen? Oh. Ich bin in einer Wüste. Ich will das skippen. Mir gefällt's hier nicht. Leiter, beschütze mich. Ich kann sie nicht mal sehen, es ist so dunkel. Einfach rückwärts gehen, dass wir gar nicht erst in Kreisen laufen, no. Oh. Haben wir es geschafft? Ah, guck mal, ich könnte wieder in den Himmel.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to
Nein.
himself. Minutes?
Ich glaube, hier sind wir dann auch fertig für heute. Das war ja schon sehr albern. Und sehr viel Gelaber. Am Ende waren das nur noch Wörter. Erstmal strecken. Ja, ist doch ganz lustig, ne? Kann man mal machen. Und so wie es aussieht, ist da immer noch mehr. Ich habe garantiert noch nicht wieder alles gesehen und auch nicht den neuen Kram, bestimmt noch nicht alles. Stell dir vor, der ganze neue Content wäre nur das jetzt gewesen mit dem ganzen Gelaber da. Wie lange saßen wir da jetzt eigentlich und haben dem zugehört? Wie lange haben... Muss ja schon garantiert eine halbe Stunde oder mehr gewesen sein, dass wir dem da jetzt zugehört haben. Oder halt mit dem New Content angefangen haben. Ja, dann müssen wir auf jeden Fall wohl noch einen Stream Stanley Parable machen. Ach, ja, dass das lang ist, das weiß ich auch. Das habe ich mitbekommen, Silo. Also, das habe ich gemerkt. Ich saß hier die ganze Zeit und habe dem zugehört und habe immer wieder irgendwo hingeguckt. Wie jetzt zum Beispiel woanders hin. Aber ja, dann bedanke ich mich doch bei euch allen, dass ihr mit dabei gewesen seid. Egal ob geschrieben oder gelurkt oder irgendwas dazwischen. Schön, dass ihr mit mir zusammen das ganze Gelaber da angehört habt. Und dann wünsche ich euch allen jetzt noch einen wunderschönen Abend. Später eine gute Nacht, wenn ihr schlafen geht. Und bis die Tage dann. Tschüss.